back to Neon Trash. I'm your host, Tommy the Hammer, kicking it with BC.
Hello.
And Johnny Rocket.
Hello.
And tonight we are going to be kicking things off with our review of the movie Wet Hot American Summer.
Oh, yeah.
This movie is nothing new, and a lot of people, especially those who are well-versed in comedy films, already know about this film, but I felt like I should pick something that was summer-themed, especially since July 4th is, almost upon us, and we've had kind of a shitty summer, what with the whole COVID-19 crisis and everyone in pandemic and quarantine mode, so I wanted something light, easy, breezy, beautiful. And this happens to be it. A lot of the cast members from this are prolific actors, comedians, and some of them are from the former MTV show The State. I wanna dip my balls in it! I can't wait. You guys know what we do here on the channel. I try to dig up a trailer if there ain't no copyright infringement, and then you guys get that shit. Peep that. We'll be right back, motherfuckers.
Trip back to 1981 with the special people who made summer camp unforgettable.
You guys aren't supposed to be out of your bunks. You're in trouble.
The camp director.
4 campers are stuck in the ropes course. I meant to tell you about that yesterday. Could you get to it now?
The counselors.
Wait for me, Abby Bernstein. Wait for me, my darling.
Wait. I just want to take off my shirt.
The kitchen staff.
Finish up the taters. I'm gonna go fondle my sweaters.
Come on, what? You said you were gonna go fondle your sweaters.
No, I didn't.
The water sports.
Hey, Andy, can I take out the Mario bus?
Sure.
The nature hikes.
Out! Out!
And of course, who can forget the sex, the muggings, the cover-ups, the malaria, the psychotherapy.
Hello.
And the friendships that last a lifetime.
We want you to be the guest of honor at our wedding next week.
From USA Films and creators of TV's The State.
A renegade piece of Skylab heading right for the camp.
Oh my God.
It could kill us all.
Janine Garofalo, David Hyde Pierce, Paul Rudd, Christopher Maloney, and Molly Shannon.
Andy, have you seen my swimming buddy?
I was busy.
It's your job to make sure kids don't drown. Where are we going?
To a big secret pizza party.
Wet, hot American summer.
We just got done watching Wet Hot American Summer. And man, oh man, Shevitz, what a snapshot in time. Like, sure. It's so funny as, like, the past few years we've been, I don't know, a little extra nostalgic about the 80s decade in general. To watch this vision of it from 20 years ago, now that we're looking back 40 years, to see 20 years ago, to look through our eyes then, and being nostalgic about the 80s, like, yeah, I don't know, definitely we're looking through it, at it through a different lens. Don't really have any nostalgia for the 80s.
No, not really.
Do you understand any of this at all? Does this translate to you at all here?
I mean, I feel like I get it. It just doesn't hold like a special place in my heart. You know what
Sure,
I'm
like
saying?
the nostalgia, absolutely, and like actually when I was like picking this up, I actually considered that. I was like, would this be too much of a nostalgia trip rather than a comedy movie? You know what I'm saying? So like that was actually
I thought it worked as a comedy.
I thought so
honestly. There
too.
was a
So
lot
like,
of
but that's the
funny
real
stuff.
question.
Yeah.
Though, is like, did it evoke?
I guess what did if there was anything funny about this, what was it? Like, what really got
Here's what I'll say. I can see exactly why they would take this to Netflix, because I feel like this was kind of like a person writing a bunch of frantic thoughts of like funny things down in a journal, and then just putting it all together with no real like rhyme or reason. Nothing got completely fleshed out.
Right.
Like you guys wanted a gag reel. I almost feel like the movie like was a gag reel.
Was the gag reel?
And I feel
Yeah,
like
right.
with Netflix, like, I don't remember the series. I know it was a prequel, but like having it in that format by itself already allows you to flesh out characters, to take on bigger themes, and arguably be more nostalgic and funnier. I feel like. So I feel like this movie, it clearly had potential in 2015 or whatever when they did the Netflix series. That was well received as well. So I don't think it was bad, but I don't think it was great.
I feel like people absorb their entertainment in a very different way now. I feel like now it's like boom, 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 Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu, Disney Plus, YouTube, wham, wham, wham. And I feel like when this came out on DVD or VHS even, I mean, me and my buddy Eric, we just got this movie on a whim, and it was like, it was so edgy, it was so, you know what I'm saying? It was just so, like, adult and bizarre. It was like right in the middle of the movie, like, you know, John was talking about certain moments, quote unquote, jumping the shark in terms of a surreal, you know, level of the humor, and I feel like that's what made it way more edgy. But like ever since then, ever since, you know, this movie has come out, we've had things like Family Guy, we've had a lot of crazy movies like Sausage Party come out, you know, where like the humor is just insane. I didn't want to take people the time. But
here we are again in the deep end.
Yes.
Down 13 feet and descending.
I mean, it's got a lot of really good jokes. Maybe the story is shit, and maybe the nostalgia factor is at least 25% of my interest. But for me, I feel like the actors, the jokes, and the 80s setting really sink home for me. And I gotta give this movie a solid 6.5 or 7 out of 10. Do it, BC.
Okay, so I'm not a huge comedy fan either, but I think with me, the reason I talked about fleshing things out is because what makes a good comedy good to me is when I can actually relate to the characters, or I can see myself in them, and I think it takes more than a time period to do that. Like if I watched a late 90s or early 2000s movie, I'm not going to think, oh, I see myself just because it's that time period. And like, I feel like movies like Clerks do a good job of like, oh, I see myself like hating this day-to-day life, or like being this rambunctious person. And then I feel like all the awkward scenes in this movie, which is like supposed to be part of the humor, I feel like movies that came out later, maybe like Napoleon Dynamite, do a better job of like being awkward and like making that resonate with you.
Sure.
So with all that being said, like there were some funny jokes for sure, and I'm not mad that I watched it. I thought like it was worth watching. I also do feel like it is like a good popcorn flick if you're with your friends, you know, that type of thing. But I'm gonna go 5.5 on this.
That's pretty fair. Rock it. Do it.
All right. I mean, I completely forgot everything I was going to say.
You have?
I've had like 7
Next script.
things to say. I don't know. So I really like comedies. Like, I mean, I love to laugh. I mean, who doesn't? I mean, you guys like them. Maybe not as much as me. But I love a good comedy movie. Older style delivering one-liners, like that felt very classic to me. A lot of the jokes that were said, there was a lot of slapstick, physical humor, you know, a lot of sound effects here and there that I just find really hilarious. It's kind of what I grew up watching and seeing as classic TV, classic humor and things. But yeah, there was an extra level of zaniness to it that a lot of times was really funny, and other times was just kind of bizarre, not necessarily bad or good, but just really bizarre. You're like, okay, what the fuck? And there was a couple of scenes where it was like, oh, yikes. Like, maybe a bridge too far may have been taken. Talk about how like they really added like 2 and 3 extra layers of passing like a positive gay message in this, honestly. Like,
that's a good point.
You know, this is, what, 4 years after like Birdcage came out, so this really, you know,
still entrenched in that whole
like
time period.
Like so they're because it's the 80s, so they're hiding out in the shed, right? You know that's you know, but now they can show that on film, like this, you know, these people here too, like, you know, this is what they had to go through, and it's like this extra thing, and then like they really build it up, and like I don't know, that was one of the more interesting arcs for me. And like you think like, oh, it's the 80s, these, you know, punk kids are gonna pull some horrible prank on the gay kids, and like,
no,
it's a chaise lounge.
They're
like
uberly accepted. It's a hilarious scene.
It's a
different way.
Yeah. It was a really awesome way to like diffuse that for like the current audience, like to be able to crack that joke, you know, like,
right.
You know. I don't know.
Well, it's funny you said that, because at the beginning of the movie when I said I watched like some older comedies, I'm like, some of that's cringy. One actually had Bradley Cooper in it as well, and it's like The Hangover. And there's a ton of just like super homophobic jokes in it that like when I watched that movie probably as like a freshman in high school, I was like, oh, like, it's whatever. But like I grew up and I'm like, this isn't funny.
Bottom line, Starcom on this. I thought it was pretty funny. I laughed a lot. I'll give this 7.5.
Nice. All right. So this is kind of a winner.
Yeah.
You know, I think this is actually. I mean, if you're looking for a movie this July 4th for you, your friends, your family, if you're having some drinks, you're loosening up, you know, depending on the family, and you want something that's not gonna take a lot of attention. This isn't cerebral. This is something that you pop on at the party and you come and go with it. You walk into the room, you laugh at a joke, you laugh at the cameo, and you pop on. You pop off.
I see that.
That's actually what I was trying to get with this movie here, is the fact that, you know, 2020 has been a ball buster in terms of just a year in general. I feel like a lot of people are, you know, down and out, suffering hard, and, you know, we're dealing with viruses and quarantine, and, you know, a lot of things are kind of a bummer, and I think people should focus on the things that are important, but when you're trying to loosen up a little bit, you can do a hell of a lot worse than Wet Hot American Summer. The cameos alone, I mean, Bradley Cooper, I forgot this motherfucker was in this movie, and his role is priceless. It's priceless. I think his character is just, it steps way outside of that hangover thing that you were mentioning, you know what I'm saying?
I think Paul Rudd stole the show too.
And Paul Rudd.
He was fun.
I mean, he was an asshole, but it was like, I feel like
yeah, that asshole character was done perfectly.
Yeah.
It was just.
I feel like it was commentary.
Over the top, the right way.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
and that's the thing about this movie is like there'll be moments where you're like, oh my god, that's like, I've known dudes like that. I've known chicks like that. You know what I'm saying? But then there's definitely moments where it slows down. It ain't perfect. So I hope it's been informative to you guys. Until the next time, tune in to the Neon Trash. Bye!